The kirtan began. The musician sang of Sri Krishna's life in Vrindavan. Radha: Friend, I am about to die. Give me back my Krishna. Friend: But Radha, the cloud of Krishna was ready to burst into rain. It was yourself who blew it away with the strong wind of your pique. You are certainly not happy to see Krishna happy? Or why were you piqued? Radha: But this pride was not mine. My pride has gone away with him who made me proud. After the music, Sri Ramakrishna conversed with the devotees. Master: The gopis worshipped Katyayani in order to be united with Sri Krishna. Everyone is under the authority of the Divine Mother, Mahamaya, the primal energy. Even the incarnations of God accept the help of Maya to fulfill their mission on earth. Therefore, they worship the primal energy. Don't you see how bitterly Rama wept for Sita? Brahman weeps, ensnared in the meshes of Maya. Vishnu incarnated himself as a sow in order to kill the demon Hiranyaksha. After killing the demon, the sow remained quite happy with her young ones. Forgetting her real nature, she was suckling them very contentedly. The gods in heaven could not persuade Vishnu to relinquish his sow's body and return to the celestial regions. He was absorbed in the happiness of his beast form. After consulting among themselves, the gods sent Shiva to the sow. Shiva asked the sow, "Why have you forgotten yourself?" Vishnu replied to the sow's body, "Why, I am quite happy here." Thereupon, with a stroke of his trident, Shiva destroyed the sow's body, and Vishnu went back to heaven. From Adha's house, Sri Ramakrishna went to Ram's house. Ramchandra Datta, one of the chief householder disciples of the Master, lived in Calcutta. He had been one of the first to announce the Master as an incarnation of God. The Master had visited his house a number of times and unstintingly praised the devotion and generosity of this beloved disciple. A few of the Master's disciples made Ram's house virtually their own dwelling place. Ram had arranged a special festival to celebrate the Master's visit. The small courtyard was nicely decorated. A Kathak, seated on a raised platform, was reciting from the Bhagavata when the Master arrived. Ram greeted him respectfully and seated him near the reader. The disciple was extremely happy. The Kathak was in the midst of the story of King Harishchandra. The great King Harishchandra of the Purana was the embodiment of generosity. No one ever went away from him empty-handed. Now, the sage Vishwamitra, wanting to test the extent of the king's charity, extracted from him a promise to grant any boon that he might ask. Then the sage asked for the gift of the sea-girt world, of which Harishchandra was king. Without the slightest hesitation, the king gave away his kingdom. Then Vishwamitra demanded the auxiliary fee, which alone makes charity valid and meritorious. The Kathak continued his recitation. Vishwamitra said to the king, "O king, you have given away the entire world, which was your kingdom. It now belongs to me. You cannot claim any place here. But you may live in Benares, which belongs to Shiva. I shall lead you there with your wife Saibya and Rohitasva, your son. There you can procure the auxiliary fee that you owe me." The royal family, accompanied by the sage, reached Benares and visited the temple of Shiva. At the very mention of Shiva, the master went into a spiritual mood and repeated the holy name several times indistinctly. The Kathak continued. The king could not procure the fee and was compelled to sell Saibya, his royal consort, to a Brahmin. With her went Prince Rohisatwa. But since even that was not enough to redeem his pledge to the sage, Harishchandra sold himself to an untouchable who kept a cremation ground. He was ordered to supervise the cremations. One day, while plucking flowers for his Brahmin master, Prince Rohitasva was bitten by a venomous snake, and that very night died. The cruel Brahmin would not leave his bed to help the poor mother cremate the body. The night was dark and stormy. Lightning rent the black clouds. Saibya started for the cremation ground alone, carrying the body of her son in her arms. Smitten with fear and overpowered with grief, the queen filled the heaven and earth with a wailing. Arriving at the cremation ground, she did not recognize her husband, who demanded the usual fee for the cremation. Saibya was penniless and wept bitterly at her unending misfortunes. The impenetrable darkness was illumined only by the terrible flames of the cremation pyres. Above her, the thunder roared, and before her, the uncouth guardian of the cremation ground demanded his fee. She, who had once been queen of the world, sat there with her only child dead and cold on her lap. The devotees burst into tears and loudly lamented this tragic episode of a royal life. And what was the master doing? He was listening to the recital with rapt attention. Teardrops appeared in his eyes, and he wiped them away. The Kathak continued. When the queen, wailing bitterly, uttered the name of her husband, Harishchandra at once recognized his wife and son. Then the two wept for the dead prince. Yet, in all these misfortunes, the king never once uttered a word of regret for his charity. Finally, the sage Vishwamitra appeared and told them that he had only wanted to put the king's charitable impulses to a crucial test. Then, through his spiritual power, the sage brought the prince back to life and returned to the king his lost kingdom.